Joining us on the line today, Vikings tight end and reigning Vikings Man of the Year, Kyle Rudolph. What's up, Rudy?
Not much, Robbie. How are you?
I'm good. Enjoying the off season. I hope you are as well. I know that you've been staying busy, but this is a really busy time for a specific group of players, and I want to ask you what you remember about this stage of your career. I'm talking about these kids coming out of college getting ready for the draft right now. We've gotten through the All-Star games. We've gotten through the Combine. Now we're in the middle of the Pro Day circuit. What do you remember about this part of the process?
Well, it's interesting and it's different for each and every player. My process was different than most. I was coming off of an injury, so I didn't do anything in terms of go testing at the Combine. And my pro day was April 7th. It was exactly 6 months after I had my surgery. So I was able to fully participate in everything at pro day. So for me, pro day was like the Combine. I had done everything I could to rehab and get myself back to the point where I could just go out and get through all the drills. I didn't have the opportunity to train for the 40-yard dash or specifically train for all the cone drills and the shuttles. For me, it was just about going out and showing that I was healthy enough after 6 months to play football. And obviously that was April, and we wouldn't have to play a game until September. So for me, it was big about just going out and showing that I had made progress from my surgery. I was getting healthy, and I was able to make it through, about an hour workout of football drills.
Mm-hmm. I think Kyle, Vikings fans who are watching or listening to this, they think of you, and it's, you're a big target, catching a lot of passes in the end zone for first downs on third downs and clutch moments, and that's what they see. But what a lot of people don't get to see is the work that gets put in behind the scenes during practice, or even now during the off season when you're coming in here working out, you're paying attention to your diet all the time. You're very intentional about what you put into your body and the treatment that you go through afterwards. And the same thing is going on. Everyone watches the draft and sees that, but no one really notices all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Has that been something that maybe was a learning experience for you earlier in your career, and sort of is an area that you progressed as a pro, is sort of maintaining your body throughout your career?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, my injury in college was, the first time I had ever been injured. I never missed games before. I had surgery as a kid, but never in high school or my first year and a half in college. And it opened my eyes to what I have to do outside of just the weight room and on the practice field. There's so much more that goes into taking care of your body, especially at this level. And, the rookies that are going through the pre-draft process are getting a taste of it, but that's just the beginning. Like I said, that was an eye-opening experience for me in terms of knowing what I have to do to prepare myself for a season, all off season, and then in season what I have to do to prepare myself to play each and every Sunday. And quite frankly, that's our job. It's our job to be ready to play on Sundays. And no matter what happens the week before, you got to do everything you can to make sure that you're back out there at your best on Sunday. So it was an eye-opening experience for me. It has taught me a lot. And quite frankly, I think it's part of the reason why at 29 years old now, I feel better physically than I did at 21 years old when I came into the league. Obviously I was coming into the league off of a surgery, and now I've had, 8 off seasons to train and continue to build my body and get to a point where I'm in much better shape. And quite frankly, I think I'm faster now and more explosive now than I was when I came into the league at 21.
Yeah. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the owners' meetings, but you're sort of a guy who likes to get around the water cooler and talk about stuff. So there's been a really interesting one coming from the owners' meetings. Now we have offensive and defensive pass interference calls and non-calls are now reviewable on a one-year trial basis going into 2019. Do you have any reaction or opinion on that, Rudy?
Yeah, it'll be interesting because, obviously you still only have 2 challenges, and if you win both, you get a third challenge. So, my initial reaction was, I mean, you could call offense or defensive pass interference on just about every play if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot like offense and defensive holding at the line of scrimmage. So much of it happens on every play that if we made it something that was reviewable, it's such a judgment call where you could go in and look. Obviously the reason why it came a rule this year and became an option is because of the impact that one play in the New Orleans Saints game had in the NFC Championship game. So, I'll be curious to see how it plays out, because obviously you're not going to be able to challenge every instance that you think there was offense or defensive pass interference, or if it was called and you think it wasn't. You only have 2 challenges, so it'll be interesting how you kind of pick and choose. And but it does kind of make you want to make sure you always have a challenge in your back pocket. So, obviously in that situation, under 2 minutes, it go up to the booth, but you never know. Late in the game in the fourth quarter, you might need a challenge and maybe need to overturn a penalty.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see too, like in the 2-minute drill, Kyle, when reviews come from the booth, but you guys are going at a rapid pace. You're not taking 40 seconds between plays, so the guys or gals up in the booth are going to have to look at stuff really quickly. You know what I mean? In a 2-minute drill.
Yeah, and I mean that's also another way that the clock can stop. It might be something that where it wouldn't have stopped before. And it could stop the clock now. Yep,
that's right. Last thing before we get you out of here, I think folks know that you love basketball, and for those listening who don't know that, Kyle Rudolph loves basketball. He's good at basketball. He played basketball at a high level, and he pays attention to it right now. And what do you know? The Final Four is in Minneapolis this year. So this is a little bit of a loaded question for me because I already know the answer. But for folks who don't know the answer, you're going to be busy over Final Four weekend here in Minneapolis. And tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, you know how much I love the game of basketball, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to judge the high school slam dunk contest and watch the high school three-point men and women contest. Also having the opportunity to be an assistant coach in the American Cancer Society basketball game, and then obviously attending the games on Saturday, Sunday getting to play in the Crunch Classic with Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley as the 2 head coaches. So that's kind of a dream come true for me. Obviously, like I said, I'm a huge basketball fan, so to have the opportunity to go out there and have some fun in a celebrity game for the Final Four is going to be a good time, and I'm looking forward to it. And then finally wrapping up the weekend on Monday, checking out the national championship. It's such an incredible venue, and having the opportunity to host the Final Four in U.S. Bank Stadium is going to be pretty incredible, and I'm excited to see. We all know it's the best venue for football, so I can't wait to see it for basketball.
Yeah, and you talking about Shaq and Charles Barkley, like all I'm thinking about is, okay, how can we get those 2 guys on Vikings.com with Rudy? I mean, because that's what I want. I want Charles Barkley on Vikings.com, so I don't know if we'll facilitate that in some form or fashion, but I think it's all in our best interest.
If I'm on Charles' team, I'll do the best I can.
I know you will. All right, man, thanks for joining us. Appreciate your time. Know you're busy. All of our best to you and the family. We'll see you around the facility, and if I don't before the Final Four, make sure you have a good time that weekend, all right?
Thanks, Wobby. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You bet, man. See you.